It's been more than a year since Bridgette Flowers was shot in the head and died. The man charged with her death was her husband, Jasento Flowers. His trial is scheduled to begin at the end of this month. Bridgette's family members, including her children who were eyewitnesses, are preparing to testify against the man they say killed her. Sophia Danner-Okotie spoke to them.
When I spoke to Bridgette's children, they brought up their questions about Jasento Flowers' criminal history. They wanted to know why he wasn't kept behind bars after he was arrested on charges for punching Bridgette just 8 days before the murder. We found out her life could have been saved if the legal system acted properly.
Waking up ain't the same.
A lot more.
Going to sleep.
Ain't the same. Like every day I just feel like something missing.
1 year later, and her children say it seems like Bridgette Flowers' death just happened yesterday. Lost and confused, they're still seeking answers.
I just want to know why.
Flowers' oldest daughter, Tiara Moore, has recited that same question every day since the night she says Jasento Flowers shot and killed her mother. Moore says she saw it all happen. She said she, her mother, and several others were sitting in a minivan when Jasento approached, looking upset.
So as he started to walk off, he just reached his hand in the car and just shot. And when he shot, my mom instantly fell over.
Tiara had told me, said, "Grandmother, when my mama looked at me, I said, well, she was gone then."
Despite paramedics' attempt to save her, Bridgette was already dead. Her mother, Vanessa Lavender, says she warned her.
I said, "Bridgette, please stay away from him." And she said, "Mom, I'm not afraid of Jasento." I said, "But he left you dead, and he knocked you out and left you dead in Walmart. So you know he's coming back."
Just days before, Jasento Flowers was arrested on assault charges against Bridgette at the Gray Highway Walmart. According to the police report, surveillance video showed a man fitting Jasento's description punching her twice in the face and knocking her unconscious on Valentine's Day. That night, he was booked into the Bibb County Jail and the next day released on a special conditions bond.
Special conditions on a bond would be that a particular accused would have no contact with a victim.
Magistrate Court Judge William Sherling, who granted Jasento's bond, says violating those conditions should have landed him back to jail on more serious charges.
If the accused should even pick up the phone and contact the victim, then that accused could be charged with an aggravated stalking. And then the bond could only be set by Superior Court judge.
So he was still trying to call your mom after he knew that he had those special conditions on his bond?
Yeah, he was calling her.
Did he call her from jail?
Oh, yeah.
But Bridgette wasn't aware of the conditions and the actions she could have taken. That's because magistrate courts in the state of Georgia don't notify victims about what rules they place on suspects.
There's no legal requirement that the magistrate court notify victims.
Instead, that's the county solicitor general's job. But Rebecca Grice says she never received the Jasento Flowers file and therefore couldn't notify Bridgette in time.
There's always a gap between the time that the defendant sees the magistrate and the time that the prosecutor's office actually gets the physical file and the paperwork on the battery.
That typically takes 30 days, but Bridgette only had 8. But as we found out through our investigation, Jasento walking out of the Bibb County Jail should have been made more difficult given his past criminal history and the fact that he was on parole.
Flowers had been in our jail 18 times. All the way back to 1988.
And from 1992 to 2001, he was on a life sentence in prison for possession of cocaine. After he served 9 years, he was released on parole. According to Bibb County Sheriff David Davis, Flowers found himself back in trouble.
Comes back in 05, back again 07, 2 times.
Records show all of those times the Sheriff's Department placed a parole hold on Flowers. That would have prevented him from getting bond and require he'd appear in front of a parole judge. That's also the policy of the Bibb County Sheriff's Office. So why wasn't one placed after he was arrested and accused of knocking Bridgette out?
Anytime you've got humans doing a job, there's always a possibility for error.
Davis admits his department made a mistake and never placed a hold. We contacted the Georgia State Board of Pardons and Paroles about what would have happened if the Sheriff's Department followed procedures. They told us via email, quote, "In this case, proceedings would have been implemented to have him revoked back to prison."
We want to find out exactly why they had, and hopefully it wouldn't happen again.
But Davis's assurance doesn't comfort the family. They believe their mother's life could have been saved.
So the system is jacked up. That's how I feel about it.
And now they're hoping the same system could bring their mother the justice she deserves.
We all miss her, really.
The Sheriff's Department says they've launched an investigation into how and why the hold was not placed on Jasento Flowers. The sheriff says they were not aware of the mistake until we asked about it. Sophia Danner-Okotie, 13 WMAZ, Eyewitness News.
And for more information and resources for domestic violence victims, you can call the local crisis line. It is 478-745-9292. That phone number again, 745-9292.